Mr. Transformers 96 here, so in the video, and I'm going to talk about a newly shown product, and this time it's from ThreeA. I'm extremely excited to report, as well as to see, that ThreeA is continuing their Transformers series, especially in the deluxe scale. It's been so long since they've put a figure on pre-order that I was pretty sure, along with, I think, most people, if not everybody, that they were kind of done from the Bumblebee movie. And that is not the case, as we can see. They're continuing to make figures, and not only are they continuing to make figures, but they're making some figures that I personally really want. One being Soundwave here. I'm very excited to see this. This is obviously Soundwave from Bumblebee. So basically the first kind of portion of the film when you're back on Cybertron. We do have just a few official images right now, and then all of the images will come out in 2 days on the 23rd apparently, which is the date that this will go on pre-order. No idea on price and release date as of yet. But let's go over what we have. So here's the first kind of full body shot of it. I think this looks wonderful. It 100% represents the look of him in the film, and also the scale really fast. This is the first time that we're seeing one of these where we already have some figures from the series, and having two of the figures, Bumblebee and Starscream, the two that are out, I can tell you that this is a wonderful series. Extremely well made and just excellent in really all regards. So I am fully on board with this series, and this just looks like a wonderful addition to it. As you can see, it really represents Soundwave from the film. His time in the film is brief. However, he does make a strong impression, and this figure really captures it, which is wonderful. Overall, I think that the structure of the robot looks great, and again, it looks extremely accurate. He also comes with a little Ravage, which I think is wonderful. Apparently, the Ravage is transformable. That's what it sounds like, which is interesting. That would be the first transformable 3A figure, so that's kind of neat. Not something that I need. When it comes to 3A, I don't need them to transform whatsoever. I'd much rather them just be completely accurate. However, if it does transform, that's a neat kind of addition. Here we have Ravage, a kind of closer up image of him. He looks really nice as well, and definitely from what we can see represents Ravage quite nicely from his shot in the film. I've seen somebody complain about the scale between Ravage and Soundwave, with taking the shot of Ravage that we have and saying that Ravage should be bigger. Personally, this looks like it's in scale to me. Now, obviously, we never really see Ravage right up against Soundwave. He ejects him, and, by the time Ravage transforms and he's in the frame, he's really in front of Soundwave. Like, Soundwave is in the background. So it is hard to get a scale. However, this is what I expected the scale to be. Like, this is kind of the scale that I was thinking that Ravage was. So, personally, I like the scale. I think it's good. It makes sense for what would come out of his chest. So overall, I don't have an issue with the scale, but I have seen some complaints about that. But again, the Ravage himself, I think, does look quite nice. Face is well detailed. Looks good overall. And then we have this one closer image of Soundwave, and as you can see, the face sculpt I think is done really nicely, and overall it just looks great. Now we don't have a ton of information on him yet. We don't know quite all of the accessories that it's going to come with either. However, one thing that we do know, or two things we know, is the height and the points of articulation. So he has 80 points of articulation, which seems actually really high. I'd have to check. Actually, let me check 1 second. Alright, I quickly checked. So the points of articulation for the other three that they have already produced is Bumblebee has the most, and he only has 55. Prime has 53, and Blitzwing has 51. So they're all about 50 points of articulation. This one has 80. Now, I'm not sure. I assume because it's so much bigger than all the others, I assume that that's combined Soundwave and Ravage. I don't really think it should be. I think that they should give you separate points of articulations, because if they are actually saying there's 80 points of articulation in Soundwave, that's amazing. This thing's going to be incredibly posable. But I'm assuming that that's both. So I would guess that there's 55 points in Soundwave and like 25 points in Ravage. I can kind of that would be my guess. We'll have to see though, but nonetheless, it should be very well articulated. And he stands 11.2 inches tall, so quite a nice size there. Overall, I think this looks like a fantastic figure, and I'm incredibly excited to see that they are doing more figures from this series, especially doing figures from like the G1, opening sequence of the film, which has all the characters and the designs that I think a lot of people were hoping for. So it's wonderful to get really high-end figures of them, considering the majority of toy companies, even the lower end, Hasbro and such, aren't making them at all. So with the exception of Optimus, I think Optimus is the only one that's been made from like the G1 opening, because we don't even have Blitzwing. Now, 3A is still the only company to make Blitzwing as far as like figure form. So overall, I'm incredibly excited for this figure. This is an absolute pre-order for me. I'm hoping that the price is reasonable. They might try to bump it up a little bit compared to the others because he does come with Ravage, which I do understand because he does come with a pretty hefty accessory. However, I'm hoping that he's not much more than the others. But overall, I'm really hoping that they're not done with this series. Hopefully they continue, and the one that I want the most from this series, from Bumblebee, would be Shockwave. So getting Shockwave and Soundwave would just be amazing, but nonetheless, I'm extremely excited and happy with Soundwave, and can't wait to get the pre-order details. I'll probably do another video once we get all the images, as well as, the price and release date and everything like that. So let me know what you guys think of the continuation of the deluxe line from 3A with their Soundwave figure from the Bumblebee movie. And thanks so much for watching.